just now having my coffee and it's 11:53. So today, by the way, I say so a lot. Please excuse that. Whenever I go back and I edit, I say so and okay so and a lot. I'm going to work on that. I also have little greenhouse seed starters that we're going to do today. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, I'm terrified that I messed up my seeds. I have a plastic toolbox just filled with all the seeds that I've collected. And I left them in the undercarriage of our RV during the winter storm. Now, for most of that time, we had a heater running in the RV. However, I don't think it was heating that underbelly area. I know that you can freeze certain seeds and they're fine. But from what I read, it seems like there can be other ones that don't do as well. And I planted some seeds in a planter outside probably a week ago. Or maybe it hasn't been a week. I don't know. I'm usually pretty impatient. But they haven't sprouted yet. And I don't know if that's because they're damaged or I'm just super impatient, which it could definitely be the second one. So hopefully I didn't damage the seeds. Hey, babe.
What?
What are you doing today?
Fixing the expedition.
Your hair looks crazy. You need a haircut.
Holler at Trey, see if he can do it.
Yeah, Heath won't let me cut his hair anymore because one time,
That's all it takes is once.
I messed it up really bad.
Screw it up, never again. To do the fuel injectors right now.
Hey, wait, don't move. Wait, come back. I just want everyone to know that a handyman is a handsome man.
It's true.
Now I need to decide what I'm going to start today. And I should have already done this, but I didn't. Okay, I have my seeds, I have my trays, I have my warm water. Yep, still warm. And I have taken my diagrams and I've written down what's going in each cell and what the date is that I'm planting it, so I can keep an eye on it, because your seed packets will have how long it takes to germinate on there. And if they don't show up within that window, there's a probability that they aren't going to grow. Each cell has a little coconut core. It expands with warm water. I'm going to do the water and fluff up this soil, and then I'm going to plant the seeds in each one and put the greenhouse cover on it and put it in a sunny place, and it will go like this, and it will help keep it moist and create that greenhouse effect. I will say, tip, do not place this in the direct sun on a very warm day. I have killed some of my sprouts before by them basically cooking to death. So don't, you want it to be in a sunny spot, but if it gets really hot outside, just, you need to prop up a corner so that it can vent out some of the heat. I learned that the hard way. All right, guys, I'm gonna get started. Change of plans. I thought about cutting that part out, and then I thought, you know what? No. It's okay. It's totally fine for me to change plans in the middle of what I'm doing when it comes to gardening. I decided that I just wanted to use my organic seed starting mix that I purchased. Give me just a second. Ooh. Not good at not spilling things. So I decided I was going to use my organic seed starting mix. I was just sitting here watching this, waiting for them to expand, getting annoyed because they weren't expanding fast enough. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to use the seed starting mix that I have. I'd rather do that. And so I don't want to waste these. So I'm going to keep them, and possibly I'll use this for something else. But I'm going to go ahead and fill these trays up with the seed starting mix. So because I am not going to have access to my garden here the whole summer since we're selling the house, I can't plant everything that I want to plant right now. Abba willing, when we move, we will be able to build a garden as quickly as we can, and hopefully we'll have a long enough growing season that we can plant some more things there, along with utilizing the planters and stuff like that I'm going to be using this in. So some of the things I am planting are tomatoes, bush beans, lots of herbs, a few other things like some beets and lettuces. My favorite thing to grow is tomatoes, and I'm totally gonna try and grow as many tomatoes as I can in grow bags. Excited, and I'm happy that we are blessed enough to be able to still grow things even through this super weird transition. Let's talk tomatoes. When I sow tomatoes, I sow more than one into each cell. Now I do that with other ones too, but with the other ones you'll have to thin them out. The wonderful thing about tomatoes, and I learned this from Roots and Refuge Farm from Jess, they are so resilient that you could plant 4 or 5 in the same little cell. And if you pull them apart correctly and gently, you can plant each and every one of them. And instead of having to thin it out and feeling like you're wasting plants, you end up with 5 tomatoes. And I just think that's way better. So I'm going to do that. Each one of these is going to have, 4, I would say 4 max. I need to pace myself. 4 tomatoes. And I will plant as many as I can with as many grow bags as I can. Like I said, tomatoes are my favorite thing to grow. But as far as my favorite varieties, that's kind of a toss-up. My husband's for sure is this one right here, Dr. Woodcheese tomato. He loves this one on tomato toast. In the morning, we take bread and we toast it and we put some cream cheese on it. Throw some big tomato slices with salt and pepper, and it is just out of this world good. It's just the world's darkest tomato. Black Beauty. Isn't it gorgeous? I think I grew this one last year. Now, I don't know, but I had planted Brad Atomic grapes. These are phenomenal. But they looked a lot more like the Lucky Tiger ones, and I don't remember ordering those. This is what I ordered this year. And they looked just like this, and the flavor was out of this world. I mean, I told my husband, it's like eating pizza. Like, that's the flavor it has. It's such an explosion of flavor. It has to be. If this is it, I'm going to grow them both. So I'll be able to tell you for sure at the end of this growing season which one it was that I grew last year, but the flavor is phenomenal. And then another one I'm excited to grow is this little tiny one called an orange hat tomato. And it is meant for containers. And I mean, look at how tiny it is with its cute little tomatoes. I think that's just perfect for what we're doing this year. Honestly, if I had it my way, I would try every single tomato that Baker Creek Seeds sells. I would. I'd have a whole garden dedicated to just tomatoes, and then another garden for everything else. I love tomatoes. Dragon tongue beans. I heard about this a lot last year by other homesteaders talking about how amazing these are. And I couldn't get my hands on them last year. I think they were sold out. So this year when I saw them back in stock, I grabbed them. So I'm growing these. Now these are bush habit. There are different types of beans. Some will be bush habit, meaning you don't need any staking. And then there's ones that will vine, and you need to have a trellis or something like that for them to latch onto. So this is perfect for containers as long as you have the right depth and enough soil for it to dig its roots into. Another big part of gardening is seed saving. You could spend $3 on a pack of seeds and grow, say, 1 okra plant from that pack. From that okra, you could have hundreds, I'd say hundreds of seeds. And okra is so easy to grow, at least down here in the south. And this is my dill from last year. And I didn't even save all of it, I don't think. But this, let's see if I can show this. These are my dill seeds from last year. You can still kind of smell the dill. This is so good. So I had saved seeds from the year before, and then I saved seeds last year. Guys, I could feed an army with the amount of dill that I could grow from this bag. I'm also going to be planting some lettuces. Not so much the spring mixes, because those I'll probably direct sow into a fairly large container. But ones like this, the Butter King, it's more like in a head of lettuce. So those I feel better about planting in the seed starters. And I did that last year and it worked out really well. I think I planted it in the seed starters. It just made it easier for me spacing. And then if I am going to try, I don't know how it's going to work out. I love growing squash and zucchini, so I am going to try and do those in containers. I will have to make sure the containers are big enough, but this is one I'm excited about growing. This is the Pattison Golden Marble Scallop. I've also heard of ones like this being called patty pans. Yeah, lots of seeds I'm going to start today. I have my list. Totally got it wet while I was pouring water and being a slob. So does anybody else still, even though they've been gardening for a while, get nervous about the seeds? Like, what if they don't germinate? I mean, this year is a little different for me because I might have frozen them, but I do this whether or not that's happened. So all of these just got started, and I'm gonna let you in on a not so secret. By this time next year, we're really hoping to have either a high tunnel or a greenhouse, but my vote is for high tunnel. So we are really hoping for some big things to come this next year, and I'm hoping I know this is such a weird garden year for me and you, but I'm hoping next year we are at this day next year going, we have a high tunnel, or we have a garden that's like 4 times the size of our last garden, you know?
You're the brains, you're the gardener. I'm just the...
He's the builder. He builds the things that I come up with. The problem is though, and here we go, rabbit trailing. I come up with something, but I don't design it. I just tell him what I want it to look like, and then he does his little...
I tell her why it wouldn't work or how it could be better, and then I build it.
Heath does that. You know the meme with the lady that looks like this, and then you see all the angles and like the numbers? That's Heath. I tell him what I want, and then he goes,
all right.
Okay. Yeah. So hopefully next time, or this time next year, we are planning big things with our garden.